All right, what is going on YouTube? It's been a while since I made a video on this channel. My only channel, I don't know why I said that way. It's been a while since I made a video, basically. It's been over a year. The last one I made was 2023 towards the end, and it was the Murph Challenge. I'd done 15 Murphs in 30 days, and I wanted to challenge myself to do something physically challenging as well as mentally challenging. And at that time, I'd also talked to you about starting an internship at a strength and conditioning gym. Basically, it's a strength and conditioning. It was a strength and conditioning gym, or it is, but I say was because I no longer am training there, coaching there. But it was a successful internship, and during that time, I was working a full-time job as a media manager, basically for a nonprofit in Houston, where I managed social media accounts and I created content for them, the videos and the photo content, and that's my background is in media production. I went to school at the University of North Texas. For those of you who don't know, I don't think there's anything on this channel that would tell you that I did do that. That's something that I haven't really expressed on this channel. For the few videos that I've made, I've got a handful of videos up, and so if you've gone back there, you really haven't. I don't think really could have known that. But I did go to the University of North Texas from 2014 to 2016. Graduated with a degree in broadcast media, and when I studied that program, it was a lot of production of broadcast, writing for broadcast, some television production stuff, a lot of theory, to be honest, not as much hands-on. But I did get to experience some things in the television, forget what it's called, like a broadcast room, like our version of the newsroom. I did some of that stuff. And one of my other big focuses of that time was documentary film. So I took a class called Cinema Verite, which is a study of documentary that focuses on real moments. It's called, true cinema, which is that's what it basically means. It's about capturing the moments in a subject's life, whatever this subject is for the documentary. It could be a variety of different things, but it's about capturing those moments without as much influence from the production crew and the camera. Think about it in terms of like, I want to show up somewhere, and I mentioned this before in other videos on this channel, but showing up somewhere, shooting things as raw as they can be without influencing them as much as you can. Granted, anytime you have a camera, you are going to influence things. Okay, I went on a tangent there, but anyway, that was just to give a little bit of backstory about where I'm coming from. So at that time, into 2023, I was working full-time media production for a nonprofit, and I was doing this coaching basically when I could in the mornings. So I would wake up super early at 4:30, drive to the gym, work out myself if I had the opportunity to. Sometimes I wouldn't work out myself at that time. Sometimes I would just go straight into a coaching a class or two, and then I would go straight to my job. Unfortunately, at the time, I was working primarily remotely. So I would go right back to my apartment, shower, get ready, and just get my work day, which is working on my computer for the whole day. But I was also going out and producing content. So I would do video production, photo production on site. Obviously, you need to be in person for those things if you're doing the actual recording. So in that case, I did have to go on site like, a couple days a week, or it ended up being about every other week for sure. I did this for about 6 months. Granted, I had this full-time job for a number of years before, 4 plus years, 5 years before. And I realized though that doing both those at the same time was burning a lot of my energy because I was waking up so early, doing the full-time job, and then trying to also, take care of my dog and take care of myself and just like get enough sleep. And I'm lucky because I don't have a ton of responsibility. It's me, my dog, the bills that I have, and just trying to keep up my health and progress my career. So I don't have any kids. I'm single. I do have less responsibilities than a lot of people my age. But at the same time, I did find myself getting tired during that time and understanding that I needed to position myself in a different way for a longer, sustainable career path. I was also getting a little bit lonely in terms of missing my family. So my family is based in Dallas. All of my immediate family, besides my younger brother, who's based in North Carolina in the Army, everybody's here in Dallas. So I was starting to feel like maybe I should move to Dallas. Maybe this is something I should consider at least. And after about 6 months of the internship, I informed him, hey, like I made a decision that I want to move to Dallas and I want to do this, sometime soon. I was trying to get the planning going. long story short, I ended up moving at the beginning of this year. So this is 2025. That was 2024 last year. So it took some time to get the pieces in the right place, but I made the move, and at the time, I was still working in Houston. So I was going back and forth January through April, commuting every other week, going to produce content, coming back, basically living on couches, my family's couches, and trying to find sustainability here in Dallas. So it was still a lot of effort. I was still burning a lot of myself, and at the same time, I wasn't getting my fitness in as much because of so much travel, right? It was so much travel, staying in Airbnb, sleeping on couches. I was still working out, but it wasn't the same. I wasn't coaching anybody. I was just trying to do my job and trying to maintain my fitness. So I knew that I had to pivot. I knew I had to come to Dallas. I knew I had to find full-time work here in Dallas to sustain myself. And at the time, I was like, I still love this fitness thing. I still want to pursue this. But it wasn't the main thing for me. I was like, let me just find sustainability in my media career, my marketing background. And I ended up finding a job, got a couple opportunities, found one job here in Dallas, full-time social media manager job, which wasn't really something that I had fully done exclusively before. And it was in a new industry. So I ended up getting that job like in April. It was there for a couple months and it didn't work out. Looking back at it, it wasn't the right fit. We ended up parting ways, and that left me in a spot where I am now. That was a couple months ago that happened, and since then, I found an apartment and have this apartment rent due, and I've been trying to figure out how do I make a living now? How do I bring money in when I don't have a full-time job, and I'm working these part-time side hustles, doing video content here. But I also realized that this is an opportunity for me. It was some adversity because I didn't know that I was not going to be working that job very long. I didn't know that I was going to only be there for 2 months. But now I have this time because I did have a little bit of a savings to rely on. Now that savings is running out, and we'll talk about that more as I go, this video and even more on this channel. This will be a journey of me figuring out my path forward as well as my finances, all these things. You'll be on the journey with me. But I realized that, I need to make money. I need to sustain myself, right? Now that I have my own apartment, especially. And so I thought up to myself, gave myself a few weeks, and I said, to reflect. And I told myself that what I really am passionate about is health and fitness. And I want to pursue that. I still want to pursue that, whether that be the thing that I pursue 100% right now as a full-time job, or whether it be something I build up to. That's where I want to land. And I ended up getting my NASM personal training certification renewed, and I'm in the process of talking to gyms. I've had conversations with different gyms around here, different owners, different coaches, gym owners, coaches. I've made a lot of progress in the last, I'd say, month, because that first month of me parting ways with that other job that I got here in Dallas was about me doing a lot of reflection. I was going to therapy. I was, fortunately, I had the insurance benefits from that job to still hold me over, and so I can go to therapy. I could do these things. I could focus on finding out who I was, doing some soul searching, and that was great because at the time I felt things were moving a little bit slow in terms of like me figuring out what I wanted to do. But now in this moment, as I look back, only a month out from that, I realized that was very important, and I realized that that's putting me on the path to pursue this fitness path. This fitness journey, personal training, and health coaching. And I'm on the path now. I got the cert. I'm talking to different gyms. I'm more focused on my own personal health, being that role model, that mentor, that individual that lives the lifestyle of being a health and fitness coach. And so that's where I am right now. We are currently about to work. I'm starting a part-time job as a videographer for a job here in Dallas with Nordstrom. I'm also talking to other opportunities of full-time employment as a video producer or videographer. But at the same time, I'm holding enough energy enough free energy to pursue the fitness stuff, right? So if I get a full-time job in media because I have the background and I know that I could sustain myself doing that, then I'm not going to burn myself out completely doing that job because I do need the time to put in for the fitness coaching. Now, I want to go on to the fitness coaching, but I realize too that if I go all into that, there may not be right off the bat enough money to hold me over to sustain myself at an apartment, to have my groceries, to take care of my dog River, all the responsibilities that I have, which again, I'm lucky because I don't have a ton compared to some people. I'm in a fortunate situation where I can take some risks. You know, I'm still fairly young. And I say fairly young because I believe I'm young, but I'm going to be 33 next month, which means that I'm 10 plus years out from what I'd say normally, but it's not even normal, you know, right? There's a broad range of how people navigate life, but what we think of in terms of the traditional American, go to school, go to college, you get out around 22, 23, right? I'm a decade out from that, if you think about it in that way. But what I've realized is that I don't want to think of myself as someone who's past the age of learning. You know, I took the internship last year at 32 years old, 31, 32. That's old for someone to be considered an intern somewhere. And there was some times where I thought, man, I'm an old ass intern. But when it comes down to it, is I was still learning. I have still so much to learn. Why am I going to let my ego get in the way and say that I know something, or maybe I don't want to be in a position that I feel that I'm at a starting point? The reality is I am at a starting point. I do know things about fitness. I am educating myself more and more, and I want to be someone that's in an elite level of coaching. You know, I want to be someone that people say, I respect that person because that person knows a lot about what they're doing. They practice it. They're knowledgeable. I trust them. And at the end of the day, with the coaching aspect, it's about building relationships and learning to help people where they are. Everybody's different. Everybody has different things that they're struggling with. It's not always just about the physical aspects. A lot of it is mental too. And that's what I want to tap into as a coach. This is where I'm at right now. I just want to make this video to give an update of what I'm doing. I'm based in Dallas, Texas now. Surrounded by family. I'm building network here. I am in a transitional stage, but this is just a new starting point for me. I feel energized. I was reflecting on the old video that I posted, the last video that I posted on this channel, and there was some definitely. I was working that. I was doing I was doing the Murph every other day, which was tiring. I was also working those two jobs, but I was looking at the last piece of it when I was talking to camera, and I seemed pretty tired. Even like looking back at it, I was like, man, I looked like I was about to fall asleep when I was talking. I mean, and I didn't even realize at the time, but maybe that's just, I needed to slow down a little bit. You know, I needed to maybe take a little bit more time to sleep. I know the importance of that. And I'm a high achieving person. I want to push high efforts, but I know that there's got to be a balance too, the yin and the yang. And that's what I'm going to preach as I am a coach. And this is just, again, the best is ahead. We are at a new chapter, in a new location, new city, new challenges, but that's beautiful. You know, those are opportunities. I am going to be talking to more people even today about job opportunities. And my goal is by the end of this week, today is Monday, August 4th, 2025. By the end of this week, I want to have a good idea of where I want to train, where I want to have my clients, and even start to build up my marketing for my own personal brand, fitness brand. And then throughout this week too, doing some side jobs, but at the same time, I'm going to be studying fitness. One thing that I'm studying right now is anatomy. Anatomy is the base of understanding human exercise, human physiology, biomechanics. You have to know what muscles are working in order to know how to effectively program, how to effectively assess individuals' movement patterns. And that's something that it's just been hard. I mean, anatomy is something that it can be a tedious thing to look at, to learn, to study. But that's at the core of being a trainer, in my opinion. And so many people don't understand that. There's so many trainers that don't understand anatomy, that don't understand biomechanics. I don't want to be that person. I want to be someone that's very knowledgeable, that's very professional, that takes people to the top. That's really all I have for this video. I just wanted to give an update, and I'll maybe get some more B-roll for this. I don't know yet, but stay tuned because we got more videos coming. We got more things coming on this channel, and this is going to be, I really feel like the best is ahead, and this is a brand new launching point. I feel like things are going to be exponentially growing from this point forward. I really, really believe that, and I can't wait to share more about this journey, and I can't wait to show you more about what I'm doing. I will see you whenever I see you, but soon, mark my words.